One of the single biggest misconceptions we see in estate planning is the belief that equal is always fair. And in many cases, that's where family conflict begins. Welcome to the Wealth and Transition Report, everyone, where we help you simplify complex financial decisions through clarity and alignment. I'm Mike DePaul, a private wealth advisor with Newport Wealth Advisors here in Newport Beach, California. What often happens is that parents want to avoid conflict. So the instinct is to simply divide everything evenly amongst the children. And on paper, that sounds fair. But in practice, family situations are rarely that simple. For example, one child may already be heavily involved in the family business, while another has no interest in it at all. One child may have helped care for aging parents for years, while another lives across the country and hasn't been involved day to day at all. Or one child may already be financially independent, while another is struggling financially, going through a divorce, or simply less responsible with their money. And these are difficult conversations to have, especially with your children, because most parents don't want their children to feel hurt, judged, or treated differently or unfairly. But what we often see is that trying to make everything mathematically equal can actually create more tension, not less. Sometimes the issue isn't even the money itself, it's specific assets. Things like a family vacation home, maybe a business, real estate that carries emotional attachment. Because while dividing an investment account evenly is relatively straightforward, dividing a family property between multiple children often isn't. One child may want to keep it, another may want to sell it immediately, and another may not be able to afford the maintenance costs or the ongoing responsibility that come with it. So now your children aren't just inheriting assets, they're actually inheriting big decisions. And in many cases, these are very difficult decisions. And what makes these decisions especially challenging is that the children often don't fully understand the reasoning behind the decisions. They're a little confused because the conversations never happen. So after the estate plan is carried out, they're left trying to interpret intent instead of understanding it directly. And that's where misunderstandings and sometimes long-term resentment can begin. I've seen it dozens of times. In my experience, almost all of the serious family conflict we see after someone passes away comes down to poor communication or poor planning beforehand. Not bad families, not bad people, just a lack of clarity. And at higher levels of wealth, these decisions tend to become even more nuanced. Businesses, investment properties, multi-generational assets, trust structures, large disparities in financial maturity between your heirs, your kids. These situations often require more than simply dividing assets evenly on paper. They require intentional planning. And sometimes that means recognizing that fairness and equality are not always the same thing. And that's really the point. The goal of a complex estate plan isn't simply to divide the assets. It's to preserve relationships, reduce confusion, and create alignment around your intentions. Because once the plan is in motion, your children are the ones left to navigate the outcome. And for many families, that means revisiting these decisions over time, especially as family dynamics, wealth, and circumstances evolve. And as we know, in higher level planning situations, the objective is never to add complexity. In fact, it's the opposite. It's to simplify through clarity and alignment. This has been the Wealth and Transition Report, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Mike DePaul. We'll see you in the next video.